It's been a little bit since I've made a video about what exactly high acuity psych is, so let's discuss. For context, I have been a psychiatric nurse for almost 5 years now, and most of that experience was on a high acuity unit at my staff job. I loved working in high acuity psych. It is something I think about every single day. It's something I think about returning to all the time. That being said, though, it is very emotionally draining work for a myriad of reasons. Now, a lot of psychiatric units are going to be just separated by age. Like, you're going to see adult units a lot of the time those go from 18 and all the way up. And you're going to see adolescent units, maybe sometimes pediatric units, and that's it. There's no separation for different diagnoses. And this really makes for a much less therapeutic milieu. I have seen units do it better than others, but for the most part, I really prefer to be working on a specialized psychiatric unit, especially when it comes to these high acuity patients. So essentially, the most common diagnoses that I would see were dementia and intellectual disabilities with behavioral disturbances, patients coming in with mania, psychosis, and catatonia. I also, especially with the catatonia patients, would often have a lot of medical things that I would need to do. Like, I had patients that needed feeding tubes, they needed all their meds IV or IM, they needed IV hydration, all that good stuff. And of course, with that is going to come incontinence care, Q2 turns, all that. This is also an environment where you're going to see more one-to-one patients. I've also seen patients that were 2-to-1 on very rare occasions, and I've also seen patients that were 1-to-1 with a security guard. The patients that were 1-to-1 with a security guard were usually patients that were extremely agitated and had displayed violence on the unit, usually multiple times. The only time that I really took care of patients that were there specifically for suicidal ideation were patients that were actively trying to harm themselves while on the unit, and they had to have a 1-to-1. And this was my new grad job. Now, granted, it was not my first time stepping foot on a psych unit. I was an extern, so I did kind of know what to expect. It was literally my dream job. Like, this is really my favorite population to work with when it comes to being a psych nurse. And it was not easy, not at all, but I can't even begin to explain how much I learned on this unit, especially being at, a decently sized level 1 trauma teaching institution.